Have you ever wondered what the richest city on Earth looked like 400 years ago? Forget modern metropolises. Today, we are journeying back in time to the year 1600, to a city of canals, commerce, and unimaginable wealth, Amsterdam. Imagine stepping off a ship into a city buzzing with energy. The air is thick with the scent of spices from the Far East, fresh-cut lumber, and the salty North Sea. This is Amsterdam, the heart of a global trading empire. In 1600, this city was the undisputed financial capital of the world. But how did this small port, built on marshy land, rise to such incredible prominence? The story begins with a series of ingenious innovations. First, the Dutch invented the flute ship, or fluid ship. These weren't warships, they were purpose-built cargo vessels. With a pear-shaped body, a narrow deck, and a massive hold, they could carry double the cargo of their rivals with a smaller crew. This simple design slashed shipping costs and gave Dutch merchants a huge competitive advantage. Suddenly, goods like timber from the Baltics and grain from Poland were flooding into Amsterdam cheaper than ever before. But shipping was just one piece of the puzzle. This wasn't just another trading company. It was the world's first multinational corporation, the first to issue stock, and its value, in today's money, would be worth more than Apple, Amazon, and Google combined. The VOC had its own army, its own navy, and the power to wage war and colonize territories. It was a state within a state, and its headquarters was the engine room of the Dutch Golden Age. Towering East Indiamen, packed with silks, porcelain, and cloves, are moored next to smaller vessels carrying herring, cheese, and Dutch textiles. The quays are a hive of activity. Dockworkers are everywhere, their shouts and songs mixing with the creak of cranes and the rumble of horse-drawn carts. They're unloading treasures that most Europeans had only ever dreamed of. These goods all flow to one place, the Amsterdam Stock Exchange, established just a few years later in 1609. It was the world's first modern stock exchange. Here, inside a bustling courtyard, merchants, brokers, and speculators would gather. They weren't just trading goods, they were trading futures, options, and shares in the VOC. Fortunes were made and lost in a single day. This was the birthplace of modern capitalism, a whirlwind of risk and reward fueled by information, rumor, and daring ambition. The wealth generated here transformed the very fabric of the city. As we move away from the busy port, we enter the famous canal ring, or Grachtengordel. This was a massive urban expansion project, a masterpiece of city planning. Elegant canals like the Herengracht, the Gentleman's Canal, were lined with magnificent mansions. These were the homes of the city's elite, the wealthy merchants, bankers, and VOC directors. Let's step inside one of these canal houses. The exterior might seem narrow, but inside, they are surprisingly deep and opulent. The floors are polished marble, the walls are adorned with rich tapestries and, most notably, paintings. The Dutch Golden Age was also an artistic golden age. Wealthy merchants became avid art patrons. Artists like Rembrandt and Vermeer weren't painting for kings or the church, they were painting for the successful middle class. In the coffee houses, a brand new trend, you could hear a dozen different languages. Debates on philosophy, science, and politics filled the air. This was the city where Descartes would say, "In what other country could you find such complete freedom?" This freedom fueled incredible innovation. Amsterdam's printing presses churned out books that were banned elsewhere. Its mapmakers, like Willem Blauw, produced the most accurate and beautiful maps in the world, essential tools for a global empire. The city's shipyards were constantly experimenting with new designs, and its scientists were at the forefront of the scientific revolution. Of course, life wasn't a golden dream for everyone. The immense wealth was built on a complex and often brutal system. The VOC's monopoly was enforced with violence, and the lucrative trade in spices and other goods involved the exploitation of people in Asia and other parts of the world. Within the city itself, a vast working class lived in crowded, less sanitary conditions, providing the labor that kept the wheels of commerce turning. Their lives were a world away from the luxury of the canal houses. As the sun sets over the canals, casting a golden glow on the gabled houses, the city's character changes. The warehouses fall silent, but the taverns come alive. Sailors, merchants, and artisans share stories and drink, their voices echoing across the water. Amsterdam in 1600 was a city of stark contrasts. Incredible wealth next to poverty, pious Calvinism alongside worldly excess, and intellectual freedom coexisting with a ruthless pursuit of profit. It was this complex, dynamic, and endlessly fascinating city that laid the foundations for the modern global economy. Its innovations in finance, trade, and corporate structure are still with us today. Walking through the AI-reconstructed streets of 17th century Amsterdam, we see more than just a historical city. We see the blueprint for the world we live in now. A city built not by kings or conquerors, but by merchants and innovators. The richest city on earth. Thanks for joining me on this incredible journey back in time. If you enjoyed this glimpse into the past, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next adventure. See you next time.